is Andrew Lee. I'm 18th generation plum flower.
Plum farmer?
Plum flower style. It's a boxing system in China.
Okay. So, what kind of style teaching do you teach here?
Maybe I try plum flower.
Okay. So, how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching roughly close to 40 years.
40 years?
Yeah. Probably way before.
Just in Chicago? Yeah.
In Chicago. And I also taught a little bit in Taiwan.
Okay. Cool. So it originated in Taiwan?
Our style originated in China, on the mainland. But during the Cultural Revolution, when Mao Zedong took over, he started killing a lot of the experienced and famous martial artists. So, like my teacher, Grandmaster Zheng Wuchen, he had dual identities. And the reason he had dual identities is because he was one of the people who were being persecuted.
Okay.
The plum flower system have always been notoriously known to revolt and to go against the government. And in this case, when Mao Zedong took over, there was no difference. What happened, he had dual identities and he ended up escaping mainland China by the skin of his teeth. And then he established himself in Taiwan under his grandmaster, Wu Tipeng.
Okay. So is it, you said the people used to revolt, so is it offensive or defensive or both?
Both.
The type of, okay.
Both. Actually, the people that I'm under, the lineage, they were for the restoration of the Ming Dynasty. The Ming Dynasty was a very prosperous time during China, and most people at that time still longed for the Ming Dynasty. When the Qin Dynasty took over, it was very corrupt, and all the officials were corrupt, and people were trodden in China, and it was just a bad time.
Okay.
So Mao Zedong, first there was Sun Yat-sen who started the revolution, and then Chiang Kai-shek kind of finished it, and then the People's Republic under Mao Zedong, they kind of took over, and Chiang Kai-shek, he left and he went to Taiwan, the island of Formosa, and they set up the Kuomintang there. After the Chinese army retired, that was my great-grandmaster Wu Tipeng. He was in the Chinese military, and he established his school in Taiwan on Dongran Street, and that's where my grandmaster Zheng Wuchen met up with him again. Actually, Wu Tipeng was my grandmaster's grandfather's best friend. That's when he started first learning with him. And my grandmaster's teacher, Ma Dei-fu, he died during the Second World War, and we have no pictures of him. But he was 15th generation plum flower. My grandmaster is 16th generation. My teacher, Shi Yun Sai, John Tai, he's 17th generation, and that's who I'm under. I'm 18th generation.
Okay. So were you born in China?
No, I was born here in the United States.
Okay. So how long did you train for to become?
I've been training altogether probably about 43 years.
43 years, so including your teaching?
Teaching 40 years.
So how old are you?
I'll be 60 years old in September.
Okay, cool.
I know, I look younger than you.
So do you teach weapons training here too?
I teach all facets of martial arts. We train open hand, weapons, paired fighting, whether it's weapons or open hand, Sanda. Sanda is full contact fighting, and also street self-defense.
Okay. How many students do you say you have here?
Suijiao. So, Suijiao. But we also teach Suijiao.
Suijiao?
Yeah, Suijiao is like wrestling.
Okay. How many students do you have here?
Oh, students fluctuate. We have anywhere, we have probably about 12 kids and probably about 6 or 7 adults.
Okay.
And the school is relatively new, so it's to be expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So are there any age or physical limitations?
Well, most kids, I would say, they should start at least 4 to 5 years old. Probably more leaning towards 5. Usually, when they're 4 and under, their attention span is short and they're kind of shy. It's like kids going to school for the first time, going to kindergarten. They
Yeah.
cry when their parents leave them. So, and martial arts is no different. So we like to get kids about 5.
5 and up.
And as far as physical limitations, it depends on what those elements are, and even the older people. I mean, if someone has severe heart problems, with doctor's approval, we could probably work with them with Tai Chi Chuan. They can learn Tai Chi, and they can do low impact martial arts. They won't do any. They don't have to do a lot of physical martial arts training. So.
What was the fighting style you said you do?
The what style?
The fighting style, the Bei Shaolin, and then
Bei Shaolin Bei Shaolin just means northern little force. It's northern Shaolin.
Okay.
But we practice the northern faction of Shaolin, but it's under the plum flower branch.
Okay, plum flower.
Plum flower is in Chinese is Mei Hua Chuan, and here in English we say plum flower boxing.
Okay. So how did that name originate, or don't you know?
Well, it originated in China. Actually, the plum flower is the national flower of China.
Okay.
The flower is very resilient. It grows all seasons. And because of that flower, and a lot of factions took on that name, plum flower, because if a flower could grow all seasons and withstand all weather, and they looked at the style to be the same way. Like, we want to be very resilient, and we want to be like the flower.
Well-rounded.
We want to survive under any adversity. So that's where the name comes from.
Okay. And how does plum flower vary from other types of fighting? Like, I know South Korea has I forget the name of it now.
Well, I'm the type of martial artist, I look at it this way. There is no martial style that's better than the other. It's the person.
Okay.
The person makes the style. And if you could get somebody working in plum flower style and they're lackadaisical and they don't practice, and they could fight somebody in Taekwondo, karate, or or Tai Chi, any other style of martial arts, and get their butt whipped. So it's what you make of the style. No martial style is better than the next. They all do the same thing.
What do you think is most important in training? Like when training a student?
Most important? I would say the most important thing about training a student or student training is to be diligent, to work at it.
To work at it?
And if you don't work at it, I mean, you get what you put into it.
Okay.
If you put very little into the martial arts, you're going to get little return. If you put a lot into your training, you're going to get a high return.
Okay. Running out of questions.
Well, I have another one. I have over 40 black belts.
Okay.
And my black belts have students. I raised many of my black belts to master level, and my black belts, like I say, I have black belts who have black belts. So
Nice.
I established Bei Shaolin in 1980, and it's been in existence from that point to date. And long after I'm gone, there'll still be a Bei Shaolin.
Okay. It was on the tip of my tongue too. So how many different fighting styles do you know? Or do you?
One.
Okay. Just plum flower? Okay.
One. I don't need to learn anything else. Within plum flower, it has the 4 major striking elements in it. Using your fist. When you say hands, that includes fingers, knuckles, the hand, the forearms, the elbow, shoulder. Kicks, which encompasses the entire leg. It has joint manipulation. It has sway jiao in it. So I don't feel the need to practice anything else.
So those are the 4 strike.
Well, hitting, we would say the 4 hitting methods, the methods
Okay.
of subduing an opponent. But I practiced Tai Chi. I learned that when I was younger because I knew at some point when I get to be an old man like I am now,
Mhm.
60 years old, I can practice Tai Chi.
Okay. So can you go over the 4 different contact maneuvers, or like the 4 different hitting styles? So you said joint manipulation, hands, feet.
Joint manipulation is pretty easy. Well, striking, I'll work a few basic strikes, just a few basic strikes.
Okay.
And I'm going to face this way so that the camera can see me.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay. Basic striking is pretty easy. Usually when you're fighting an opponent, especially in northern style, we like to start at long range. From long range, we could use our legs to hit our opponent. We could move in, hit our opponents with roundhouse kicks to face, legs, or we could use, from this distance, we can cover a distance and strike our opponent quickly with back fists, and we can follow through with different combinations. I can move in quickly, hit this way down, come back up. You know, this is just basic striking methods.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, I could come in and he could block me, and what I mean by using the full arm, and then the elbow hits. Because the moment you throw the strike and they block, you hit with the elbow.
Okay.
Right? I can come back down and come back up again. So it depends what you're doing. So this is hitting. I can use shoulder, method of shoulder striking. He may come in with a technique, and I may block his technique, and say for instance I move to the side. He comes in, and I can use my shoulder to strike him. I can use my shoulder if he did a long strike. I can move into it with the shoulder or head and hit with. Kicking is pretty simple. You can attack with kicks, multiple kicks. Kicking here, 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 or he comes in, I can throw a hook kick at it. He comes in and catch him in the groin with a kick. So it depends on how I want to use the kicking technique.
Okay.
Joint manipulation is actually a form, what we call a striking method, or a method of subduing the opponent through grabs. He could grab me. No matter which way he grabs, he decides I can come this way. And I can catch his wrist and break his wrist. And it's to render him defenseless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he can grab me another way. He grabs me this way. I can do the same thing to break his wrist. Right? So there are different ways he could grab with the other hand. And I could come this way. I could break his wrist. So that's what joint manipulation is. He can grab with both hands. I can come in here and I can catch the wrist. I can do different things to neutralize them for wrestling. And wrestling is wrestling. That's just throwing the person.
Okay.
So,
see, it was arms,
hands, legs, joint manipulation,
and wrestling. Okay.
Wrestling in Chinese is called Sui Jiao.
Sui Jiao? Okay. How long have you been at this location?
Oh, we've been here for 3 years.
3 years? Okay. Do you think that your communal awareness is high or low?
Yeah, I would say when we first came into the community, we had a large influx of students. We had a big sign up, and because it was new to the area, it's usually in this area there are karate schools,
Okay.
probably Brazilian jiu-jitsu around and hybrid styles, but there wasn't any pure traditional Chinese kung fu until we came into the area.
Okay.
So, and you know, there's Thai boxing schools in this area. There's a number of other styles of martial arts, but there are no Chinese martial arts schools in this area. So I would say we're unique to this area.
All right. Do you have other schools, or is
We have a Bei Shaolin in Memphis. I also have black black belts under my black belts who are in Iowa, Texas, Philadelphia,
None in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 in Wisconsin.
2 in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Madison.
Madison, and there's another one in Kenosha. There's a
Okay.
Beis Shaolin in Kenosha that's open. There's a Beis Shaolin in Memphis that's open. There's a Beis Shaolin in Iowa, but it's not a public location, but it's private. And there was a Beis Shaolin in Texas, but that one was closed because he ended up moving to Philadelphia. But we still have 2 other black belts in Texas.
Okay.
And we have a black belt in Las Vegas.
Las
Also-
Vegas. Nice.
Yeah, we have 2 in Las Vegas.
So what is the martial code of conduct?
That's exactly what it is. It's martial code of conduct. It's separated in 2 parts. It's the morality of mind and the morality of deed. And
Okay.
those are just things that, in order to become a good martial artist and to be a good person, those are things that we follow.
So you're not just training them to be good fighters, but also good people.
Yeah, you have to be responsible for what you learn. I mean, you know, you're training somebody to be a skillful, organized killer.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I mean, that's what you're training people to be. So they have to have some moral conduct so that they can be good, law-abiding citizens. And you can go back during the olden days, most martial artists, they ran the town. They were the tough guys.
Yeah.
They protected everybody, and in return, they paid them for their protection. And then whenever criminals came to town, the teacher and all of his black belts, they protected that little town and that village. So, you know, and it's not, we don't live in those times anymore. We have
Yeah.
police protecting everybody. So, but we still have to be law-abiding citizens. I mean, you train hard and you become this person with these extraordinary skills. So you can't just let them run wild and not teach them
Yeah.
morality, because then they'll be stone cold killers out to kill people.